Sorry, folks. I have to use my cell phone. I don't have my usual recording equipment. Recording equipment. Hopefully I have the chat up if you have any questions. Not working. Everybody. Hey Nick, how you doing, buddy? If you have questions, go ahead and answer. I'm not under non-disclosure. It wasn't that exciting. I apologize. I'm in the hotel room, so I don't know how good the stream is going to be on the Wi-Fi here, and I just have my cell phone with me. I don't have my usual stuff. David, how was it? Details. Okay, so for those of you just tuning in, you can watch the stream afterwards again. This was a VIP tour for referral owners who could also invite people. So I was invited from a referral owner, and it's a tour of the factory, and we got to spend some very nice quality time with the silver alpha prototype from last year at the reveal. They did not show us any production candidates. I'll talk about that in a second. I probably spent a good 2.5 hours around the Model 3 from last year. Sitting there, it was roped off. We were not allowed to touch it, get inside the car. There was no test rides or anything like that. But I did get some very good impressions of the car. So, and then after that, there was a lunch, and then there was a Q&A with Franz von Holzhausen, who's the senior designer at Tesla. That was kind of a non-event. I mean, it wasn't really scripted, but it was just stuff I'd heard before, so it's nothing really spectacular. Interestingly enough, last night I also went downtown San Francisco with a bunch of YouTubers. So the guys from Like Tesla, Teslanomics, Ryan McCaffrey from the Ride the Lightning podcast. Let me see here. There was Zach and Jesse from Now You Know. And James Cook from England came in too, and we did a little powwow and we recorded some stuff. So you can look for that stuff from probably most of their channel, maybe not mine. I don't know. We'll see. But we had a lot of fun. It was a good dinner. Anyhow, if you have questions, go ahead and ask. Yes, Kim from Like Tesla was there. I guess you're probably all asking about the Model 3, right? Oh, by the way, before I get into that, Robert Rosenblum from the Talking Tesla podcast emailed me last night and said, because they're down for a Tesla owners club summit of different owners clubs around the world at the Marriott across the street from me here. So anyways, Robert invited me this morning. He says, hey, I'm going on a hunting trip for Model 3 at the test track. You want to come along? I said, yeah. We were handsomely rewarded. We got quite a bit of video and pictures of 2 or 3 Model 3s driven around the test track. They were driving around last night too, and they're being spotted all over the place. They're actually driving around the factory here in the roads and stuff. So it was actually good to see them live. And I've posted what I can on my Twitter account. I have to go through my stuff, and I'll post some stuff afterwards. Anyways, it looks really good. Okay, so first questions I have to do with, you're 6'5". Wow, that's really tall. Like I said, I couldn't get inside the car, but I was able to compare it because, interestingly enough, what they did with the Model 3, the Alpha, is they had it sitting right beside a Model S. So you could actually compare. That was very smart of them, of doing that. I don't think you learned anything new. No, we didn't learn anything new. That Tesla was very tight-lipped about Model 3. I tried asking engineers. I got a little bit of information out of them, but it was nothing that I hadn't really heard before. Anyway, so they had the Model 3, the Alpha prototype, sitting beside a normal Model S, and as we expected, it's about a little bit more than 90% the size of a Model S. It's still a substantial car, so that's good. It's not. It's about 3 inches narrower. And we know it's about a foot shorter from the back and the front. The wheelbase looks about 3 inches shorter. However, I was very pleasantly surprised. The interior cabin space, at least from front to back, looks to be about the same as the Model S. So there's going to be lots of leg room, especially in the back. I think passengers in the back are a little bit tighter, but as for driver and passenger, it's going to be great. The other thing I noticed with the Alpha prototype, and I tried comparing it against the Model S, it looks like the first crossbeam, from the driver that you see up here. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like it's pushed back ever so slightly. So the visibility, if you're sitting in the car, because it has a taller green, like what we call the greenhouse, which is, the windows are a little taller, visibility should be really good. Now, I should also mention, too, that the dash on the Model S compared to the Model 3, the Model 3 dash is really low. It's like way down, so that they push the windshield more forward, so it has a really raked look. And I think the visibility out the front of the car is going to be exceptional. Like the Model S, I mean, you're sitting pretty low in the car and the dash comes up high. But on the Model 3, I have a feeling it's going to feel like a small SUV. It's still a sedan, but it's going to feel like an SUV because you're sitting up. It feels like you're sitting up higher when you're not. It's just because of the way that they designed the windshield and the dash. I think it's going to be really good. The screen on the car was not turned on. I mean, it was so far away. I mean, I was 4 feet from it from the front, but I could not get around the other side to look inside the car. But like I said, we've seen all the pictures. If you want to look at see the interior, all you have to do is look at any of the videos from the test ride events from last year's reveal event. That's really what's going in production. We've got lots of spy pictures and stuff. That's what it's going to look like. So let me see here. What else can I say? All I can say is pictures don't do this car justice. And I know it sounds like a bit of a cliche, but when you see the car in person, it's drop dead gorgeous. That's about the best way I can say it. It looks so much better than I expected it to. It's going to be a real stunner. This car is going to turn a lot of heads on the street. So I would have to say to people, if you're thinking about canceling a reservation because you don't agree about a particular detail in the car, please give it a chance. When you see it, you'll be spending so much time looking at the car and how beautiful it is that the little nitpicky details might even just go right out of your mind. Now, I will agree, the interior for this car may not be to everybody's liking. I get that. It was asked of France in the Q&A session as to what their design intent was for the Model 3. He wouldn't give too many details, but he just repeated that they spent a lot of time on ergonomics on the car and trying to minimize extraneous stuff on the car and just give us the really important stuff. And what the stuff that they gave us on the car is purposeful and makes sense. So take that as you will. Oh, the other thing too, I noticed about the Model 3, the Alpha anyways, that the interior surfaces are all soft touch. There's no hard plastic. There might be some hard plastic, some spots, but I couldn't spot any. And I asked, there was an engineer there, and he's responsible for what they call craftsmanship, which is his responsibility is making sure the materials are right, the doors feel solid, the soundproofing, all the little bits and pieces he talked about, the chrome trim around the windows, and why Tesla doesn't use little plastic bits on the end of the chrome. It costs more to do it the way that they do, but they feel that it looks better, stuff like that. Anyways, I talked to him about the interior, and he said that, I can't talk about production, but it's soft touch. It's similar to what you'd find on a Model S. So that's encouraging that we're not going to get a cheap interior. Remember, simple does not equal cheap. Simple is just the design language. I think the materials are still going to be good in the car. So I'm encouraged by that. Let me see here. What else did they say? I asked him about the back seat. Now, my impression that it was always going to be a 60/40 drop-down seat in the back. And I asked him specifically about that. He gave me a non-answer. He said that, and I said compared to other cars, and he says, his word was, we're going to be competitive. So take that as a yes, I think. I don't know. Just as a reminder, the Alpha, in case you hadn't seen it, because it's not really shown in any of the reveal pictures, but there is a center armrest that folds down. I couldn't see if there was cup holders in it, but it does fold down. So that was kind of interesting. Let me see here. What else can I answer? Cargo space. Yeah, they didn't open the trunk or the front. Could not see how much cargo space is in the car. The information that we got, of course, is that it's about, 14 square cubic feet of storage space. Oh, by the way, there was a spy shot yesterday of one of the production candidates on the test track. It was a blue one, and the hood was open, and the front is different than the release or the Alpha prototype. It looks deeper. So take that as you will. I'm encouraged by that if that's a real thing. It's hard to see, but it does definitely look quite a bit deeper, similar to what you find on Model S. I'm encouraged by that, but we'll have to wait and see. Side mirrors folding. Yes, I have pictures of the release candidates driving around the track and the local around here. They all have the split line. It's the same. The mirrors look identical to a Model S. They have the split line. So yes, the mirrors fold. Whether they're motorized or not, I don't know. I would believe that they are, because that's not really a premium feature anymore. I mean, you can look at Hyundais and Kias, and they have folding mirrors, and those are cheap cars. So I would hope that makes it there. No spaceship. Look, guys, enough with the spaceship stuff. It's not happening. The interior is so clean and unadorned. It looks so fresh and modern. That's your spaceship. Forget about the controls. The steering wheel is, we've already seen the steering wheel on the production candidates. It's a simple design. Not the first one, the oblong one. It looks like a regular Model S one, but it just has less buttons on it. It has 2 scroll wheels. So yeah, there's no HUD, nothing like that. What we saw at the reveal event last year is what's going into production. Just try and get your head around that. Let's see here. Any other questions? Yes. Okay, Joseph, you're saying the Alpha silver paint. Yeah, so I was talking to the engineer there, and I asked them specifically about the silver paint on the Alpha. And they said it's a very labor-intensive paint. It's a multi-step paint coating process, and it's done just for that show car. It's not what's going into production. We're going to get this, the standard silver paint that you see on the Model S. I did ask him specifically because I happened to bring some magnets along. I thinking that if I was going to get close, I would test it out. But I asked an engineer, and he said the silver prototype that you've been seeing at the Alpha event had fiberglass. They're fiberglass body panels. They're not aluminum. So, and I was not able to get any information as to the makeup of the car, steel, aluminum, and stuff. They're just saying it's a combination. I still believe that the skin is aluminum. The interior is a combination of steel and aluminum. Glass roof. The Alpha had glass roof. All the production candidates have been running around, all have glass roof. There's no indication of metal yet. We'll see. Nothing about supercharging 3. Sorry, folks. I mean, there's not a lot of information. I was just there to, be part of the thing. And what I saw was the Alpha prototype, the same silver one. I mean, there's no real new information other than tiny little bits and stuff that I got out of the guys. They're still not talking. Tesla doesn't want to talk about the car yet. I've asked them several times, and they said, we'll have more to say soon. So when production starts, we'll get some more information. Can you see or take pictures of the Alpha? No, we were not allowed to take pictures or video. But I mean, I'm sure you can look on the internet. Now, I did grab a picture of one of the cars when it was being unloaded for the event, and that was the only picture that I got. Is the base Model 3 profitable? Of course it'll be, just not initially. They got to pay back for tooling and stuff. So, okay, let's see here. What was the point of inviting people to the event? I don't know, just a reward. Oh, any indication the screen will be movable? I don't think so. I think it's fixed in place. Tesla has not made it tiltable. Either way, it's just there. I did ask the engineer there about how solid it is, and he says you don't have to worry about that. So I don't know what that means, but. Any videos of the Model 3s driving around? Yeah, they're driving around like crazy down here. I went down to the test track this morning. I have video. Just look on my Twitter feed. I got pictures. So yeah, we're on public property, so we can take pictures and stuff. And if you're in the Fremont area, all you have to do is hang around the factory. You'll see them on the test track. No indication about reveal date. It'll be sometime in July. That's all they ever said. Let me see here. How many miles are the Model 3 production candidates doing a day? I have no idea, but they're driving them around like crazy down here. I mean, if you just hang around the test track, like I said, you'll see them. They're driving around. I saw a silver one, a red one. Two of them today. But the guys I was hanging with last night, they were driving around and they caught really great pictures of the blue one and a white one. So they're being driven around all over the place. The picture that I put on my Twitter feed, the one that was on the test track, the silver one, had production number 59. And we've seen as high as 67 so far. So what did Franz say? Not much. Heard it all before. Just talked about his career, answered a few softball questions. I asked him questions specifically about the Model 3 design process, and he says, we can't talk about Model 3 right now. We'll have more to say about that soon. So he kind of deferred the question. Dreadnought Alien Factory. Yeah, okay. So just so you know, when you take a factory tour, you sign a waiver, and part of that is you don't really discuss the factory specifically. I mean, it's a car factory, and there's a National Geographic video you can watch on the Tesla factory. However, I will say this. I saw part of the Model 3 production line being installed. They have it walled off. Right when you get on the tram, there's a whole section that's completely walled off with tarps and stuff, and that's just to prevent stuff from, going between and stuff. But they have a section of the wall that's actually not there, and when we were paused, I poked my head in and I saw lots of machinery, lots of robots on the ceiling, on the floor, on the walls. I mean, when it's funny when you say alien dreadnought that Elon had mentioned. I kind of get it, because I was looking at machinery. It looks so different than the rest of the factory that it's all about automation. So that's all I can say. Hopefully eventually they'll release pictures or video of it in work and stuff, but it looked really impressive, and there's lots of workers. They're working really hard to get this thing going. So, they've still got a little bit of time to finish up what they're doing. And there's lots of machinery sitting outside the factory that's all painted white. It's all brand new that they still have to install. Looks like they got some big tents outside where they're preparing machinery and stuff. But it's happening. They're building they're building it. They're not lying. I saw it. But that's all I can say, because, I can't take pictures and stuff. So, whatever. Okay. Battery capacity. Well, it was leaked. I think we're looking at 60 kilowatt hour and 75 kilowatt hour. Follow the news and you'll know this stuff. Still getting a Model 3. Of course I am. Let's see here. Machines building machines. Yes. How's the quality inside? I have no idea at this point. I mean, what I saw in the Alpha prototype looked just as good as a Model S. Keep in mind, this is supposed to be a cheaper car. It's not a luxury car. It's an entry luxury car, based on the price. But the materials look good. It looks soft touch. It's a simpler interior. That's all it is. 75 kilowatt hour limited to 60. I don't think so. The margins are not there for this car to do that kind of thing. I think it's a physical 75 kilowatt hour pack and a 60 kilowatt hour battery pack. And they're focusing, what I heard is that they're like Model 3, or like the rear wheel drive first, the 75 kilowatt hour will be first. So we'll see. Minimalist interior, turn on or turn off. I like it. You know what? I'll tell you this. It's not for everybody. I get that. Not everybody's going to like the interior. But I think you have to give it a chance. It's just like anything else. If something is new, I mean, I remember when the Model 3 was first introduced, everybody was flipping out about the nose. They hated the nose. And now people, that commentary's died down because people are used to it now. And now the focus is on the interior. I hate the interior because it's simple. I think it's just like anything else. You're just going to have to give it some time, let it grow on you, and then make your decision there. So, let's see here. I agree with you. I like the nose too. Look, like I said this before, when you see the car in person and you actually see the shape and how it's designed, it's a completely different impression. So I would urge you, if you're looking at the Model 3, don't focus on just pictures that you see. The pictures, I was surprised because when I walked in to do the registration, the Model 3 was sitting like right to my left, like 4 feet away, and they had a Model S beside it, and it completely surprised me. I was not expecting. I don't know. It's so hard to describe. It is nothing like I imagined it. Like, I mean, I knew what the car looked like, But to see it in person and see the stance of the vehicle and its shape, it looks like it's moving just sitting still. And that caught me completely off guard. And the more you look at the car, the more you see little details and stuff. Like if you look at a Model S, because they had one beside it, and you compare the two, the Model S looks a little rounder in some respects. Like the Model 3 has these really neat crease lines, very sharp crease lines going up the hood and around the sides. It's a little sharper look. And it does wonders to really show off the side, like the shape of the body panels and stuff. So yeah, it looks really great. The headlights are amazing. They look really, really cool. Very modern, fresh. Yeah, I'll be honest though, I'm not really crazy about the back of the car. Like I couldn't walk around, but from the pictures and stuff that I've seen, if you stand right behind the car and you look at it, I'm not crazy about the back, and I think, and I've thought about it, and I think it really has to do with the fact that the glass window coming up a little higher reminds me of a Model X. The Model X is not the prettiest from behind, so I have to give it time. It'll probably grow on me, but otherwise, I mean, it's great. It looks really nice. Headlights, favorite part of the car. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, the headlights are really cool. Are the wheels staggered on the 3? The Alpha prototype had staggered wheel setup, but I don't think that's going into production. Let's see here. Tell us about the ODB2 connector story. Okay. Okay, I have to be careful. There's a restaurant. I did a little meetup for some Twitter followers and some Model 3 Owners Club members that wanted to just hang out and talk and stuff at a restaurant. And I ran into a person who works at Tesla because they get a lot of Tesla employees coming in and out and stuff on breaks and between shifts and stuff. Anyways, so he was wearing a t-shirt that specifically identified that he's part of the Model 3 thing. I won't name him or anything. So I asked him about it, and he says, I just work on the Model 3, and he happened to remember that I did the video on the NAVD HUD. And he just said, won't work. So I asked him, what do you mean, like on the Model 3? And he said, yeah, I can't tell you anything other than that. I said, okay, fine. So then I thought about it for a second. And what would make him say that? And then I just remembered, oh yeah, I remember plugging it into the ODB port. So I just kind of looked at him and I said, so I guess there's no ODB port on the Model 3. And he thought about it for a second. He says, well, you didn't hear it from me. So, but on his way out, he said, thumbs up, keep up the good work, and he says, you're really going to like the car. So that's the story. I don't know what that means. I mean, some people say the ODB port is required by law. I don't know if Tesla really uses it because they have their own little thing going on, so I don't know. I don't know if he was just jiving me or anything, but that's the story, so you ask. It's a non-thing. Let's see. Any other questions? I'm getting really... Look, folks, I'm only working on like 3 hours sleep or something. I'm just so tired. This time change for me in a foreign bed, and I'm a light sleeper, is just like clobbering me. And I'm supposed to meet up. I don't know, what time is it here? It's 10:20. So I'm supposed to meet up with somebody for a little bit, and then I got to fly out tonight to head back home. So I still got a long day for me. No ODB, no NAVD. Well, I'm not worried about that because I'm sure we can tap into power somewhere else. It's not the end of the world if you want to keep using it. So the NAVD works on the Model S. Yes, it does. Android Auto or CarPlay. I have no details on that stuff. Obviously, Tesla doesn't seem to be interested in doing that on the S and the X, so I don't anticipate that on the Model 3. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I am really, really tired, so I'm fading fast. We'll go a few more minutes, and then I gotta book out of here. Yeah, a cup of coffee. Yeah, that'd be really nice. I already had a coffee this morning, but it's not helping. The actual term is OBD2. Sometimes I get it flipped around because I'm using the computer programming. We call it ODB, but it's OBD2. Sorry. What are the proportions of the car compared to the hood? Well, I kind of measured it. I didn't have a tape measure and stuff. I measured it using my feet, just toe to toe. The Model 3 is coming in at about 72 inches wide. I don't have the metric conversion. Sorry, folks. I mean, I'm metric too, but we measure things in feet a lot in Canada. So about 72 inches is about right. The length we know is 185 inches. Like I said, they had it right beside a Model S, so you could physically compare the two, and it's close. I mean, you can tell if you just do this that the Model S is slightly bigger, but this is not a tiny car. This is not a Mazda 3. This feels like a BMW 330i in terms of size. I'm still happy about that. So for those of you who have small garages and stuff, you'll really like the size of this car. I'm just glad that they've kept the interior cabin space about the same as a Model S. That's going to be really good. And I think that's just part of the design, how they've done it. So yes, the Model S, I understand, is big in Europe. It is a big car. I've driven one several times. I had one for a long weekend, and when I parked it felt big. But this car, I mean, I was watching it on the test track. They would go around the test track, and then they would come around and stop, turn around, and go over the rumble strips. And I was trying to compare it against the S and the X, and you could definitely tell that the Model 3 has a shorter turning radius, just on account of the shorter wheelbase. So it's encouraging. Oh, it's quick too. They were doing launches, and it's plenty fast. So door handles. What about the door handles? We've seen the door handles. It's that hockey stick. All the production candidates have it, folks. That's what we're getting. Did you see the user interface? No, I did not see the user interface. It's just going to look like a Model S interface. It's just going to be sideways and going to change some stuff on account of it being horizontal, but I don't think it's going to be really that much different. Was the Model 3 noticeably shorter than the Model S? Yeah, but it's not as small as you think. Oh, was it hyper silver? Well, that paint, they didn't say specifically hyper silver. I mentioned that, and they said it was a very labor-intensive, complicated paint process on that Alpha. It's not going into production. It's too labor-intensive. It's done for the show car. It looks really great in person, though. New seats, spy shots. We haven't seen anything about the seats. The seats in the Alpha look really good. They're a little different than the Model S. But they look good. They have that same, the headrest and stuff. So we'll see. Again, things change. Little things change. Big things don't change. Little things change with Tesla. It's mostly little tiny refinements. So there's not a lot of time between when they showed the car and when they had to stop designing so that they could actually get parts validated and contracts awarded and start building the factory and stuff. So this is not a Model X. They don't have 4 years to tinker with the car. They don't want that. They don't want a repeat of that mistake again. So 2 more minutes, guys, and I got to cut it off. Wheel sizes. Well, the production candidates we've been driving around are 18 and 19-inch wheels. They did confirm that. I did see the Aero wheels on a couple of cars around here. They're ugly. I wouldn't get those. Matte black is not happening. Sorry, folks. Brake lights. Brake lights look just like a Model X. Lots of pictures and videos of Model X. Go look at that. Favorite color? Nice try. Let's see here. None of the cars have been spotted with those carbon fiber caps. I did ask one of the engineers that was there about that specifically, and he just smiled and he says, you'll have to wait. So I don't know what that means. Hand-cooked tires. I don't know. Most of them, I think, have been spotted with Continentals. So. Thanks for the kudos, guys. I work hard, but I'm very tired. I'm just glad to be down here. Thanks for, Justin, for, making me a +1 to be down here. Really appreciate it. Otherwise, I would just not be able to come down here. So if I get an invite for the reveal event, maybe I'll come down again. It'll be fun, but I'm not expecting my car for several more months, maybe even, a year. So we'll see. Yeah, 67 is the highest number we've seen out of production candidates. The one that I saw, the silver one, was 59. No, Elon was not there. I believe he's in Australia. Don't know. I look like crap. I feel like crap. Hope I don't end up with a cold by the time I get home. I just got a little bit of a headache now, so I'm not working on much sleep. So. Because remember, I'm 3 hours behind, and then I was out late last night till about 1 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, and then I had to get up at 7:30 local time. So yeah, I'm pretty tired. Okay, folks, I got to cut it off and stuff. So thanks for watching. I know this is a little impromptu and stuff. I might do something a little more concrete a little bit later on, but I mean, just watch the Twitter feed and stuff. I got a link to a forum post that I did and just kind of outlines my observations on the Alpha. And you can read that. So anyways, I have to cut off now, folks. Maybe try and get a little sleep before I have to book here. Anyways, thanks for watching, and follow me on Twitter, Model 3 owners. You know where it is, all the usual stuff. And oh, by the way, I got to thank all the on the forum people that donated to help me pay for some of the airfare to get down here. And the Patreon supporters, they've been really, really helpful to help me get down here, because it's not cheap flying out of Canada. So anyways, I just want to say thanks to everybody out there for help making this happen. So I really, really appreciate it. Without you, referral winner, I would not be here. So really appreciate it. Anyways, folks, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.